What was surprising for you when you came here?
There's like a good beach around here. And they were like, what are you talking about?
Umbrellas for the rain, but the sun too.
The adult toys section was right next to the children's toys.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys and girls on Ash Japanese, it's your flashy fashion reporter, Kathy Cat. And today we're going to go hit the streets of Tokyo and ask the foreigners here what their culture shock is. It's their very first time in Japan, so let's go and ask foreigners in Japan. What was surprising for you when you came here?
I think there's very clean here. No like trash on the streets and people are polite. We were talking about.
It's quite different from Europe.
What would be different in Denmark?
Eat on the street and in parks and everywhere in Denmark. And you don't really do that in Japan.
There are these big cars.
For example, in Shibuya, there's a lot of them. And when they not only visual, but also they play music. And yeah, we're not used to that. That's pretty different.
The big screens with the commercials changing,
exactly.
flashing.
Yeah.
And also just the very high buildings. I haven't seen that for a long while.
I was surprised by how quiet and considerate everyone really is. Because everyone says like, oh, Japanese people are very polite. Japanese people are very considerate. But maybe it's because I'm American and Americans are not like that at all. I really love it. Like everyone pays attention to what's around them and makes sure that the peace is kept. And I really appreciate that. I would like it if it was like that more often in other places.
Please tell me one thing that surprised you.
It was very quiet. We're from California, Los Angeles, so it's like very loud out there. But this time it was like along the streets, it's very quiet.
What surprised you when you came?
The cleanliness. Everything is really clean. And I was also telling my husband as we were driving from the airport, the trees are all manicured, even along the freeways. I thought that not in California.
Oh, they just like left to their own devices?
Yes.
Oh, what surprised you?
How hot it was, first of all, and how quiet it is like on trains and in public places. People don't do a lot of chatter, and we're always loud and excitable when we're in LA.
Wait a second, surprised by the heat. My image is California, LA, hot.
It's a sea breeze all the time, so it might be sunny. They never say hot California, they say sunny California.
Yeah.
So it's never really hot, rarely,
Yeah.
but it's always sunny.
It's very humid out here. That's like the main difference.
So what was like the first culture shock you had when you touched down on your very first day?
Oh wow, the heat. Denver's really dry. Not humid at all. I would say like being on the opposite side of the street. Like walking wise, we're usually on the right side and everyone here's on the left side. So getting used to that was definitely a shock.
How did you figure it out?
We looked like we were cutting in the middle of traffic. We looked silly. We noticed everyone else was doing the other way.
Yeah, we almost bumped into a bunch of people and then we're like, we realized the arrows are going the other way in the train station, so.
All right, those little arrows on the floor, are they actually helpful?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
What were like your first culture shocks? You were like, wow, this is different from France.
People here are very well-mannered, if I can say. Everyone follows the rules. In France, no one cares. Everyone is just pushing everyone, and here everyone waits and follows the line. Very great, actually.
Did you catch yourself doing something wrong? Like, oh, no one else is doing that.
Yeah, of course.
What did you do?
When I arrived in Narita airport, there was the escalator, and I just went straight to it, but there was a huge line. And then I was like, oh yeah, okay, I have to go behind the line.
Oh, but you figured it out, right?
Yeah, I did.
When you came to Shibuya and you saw that big crossing, how did you feel?
A bit chaos-ish, yeah. But also fun to try.
Actually, I came there when I first arrived with all my luggage. And I had like 40 kilos. And then I used my Google Maps and arrived at Shibuya station. And then came up from the station and then right throughout the crossing. My first steps in Japan.
Oh my
almost,
goodness.
yeah.
How did that make you feel?
A bit overwhelming, but yeah, it was fun.
I noticed that there's not a bunch of birds flying around. Like in LA, you almost have to dodge them. They're in big swarms of birds always sitting about on the wires or walking around at your feet. Birds are everywhere. So that was a little different.
Any other thing where you thought, wow, that is very different to back in the US?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Like shopping is really hard. We've had to convert everything to dollars just to make sure we know what we're actually spending, because it can get, we're like, oh, 24,000 yen. We don't know how much that is in dollars. So
Yeah. I would say the cleanliness, it's so clean here, like wherever you go. So you don't see like a lot of trash and things like hanging out, and US is not like that.
Well, since it is so cleanly, what do you think about the lack of trash cans though? Awful.
Oh yeah.
Awful.
Every time we eat food, we're like, are we just supposed to carry this all day? So yeah.
Are you currently carrying something?
I have some in my bag, yeah.
Yep.
Always got some little trash. People are really nice though about like if you have trash, asking them to throw it away. I would say like that's definitely different of like, could you throw this away? In the US, they don't really do that. Like they don't take your trash for you.
Where do you ask?
A bar, sometimes restaurants, like little shops like this, like street markets kind of.
Just like randomly go like, hey, sorry, I got this trash. Can you take care of it?
Yeah. We've done that a couple times. We might look like cool tourists, but we've done it.
If they say yes, that's nice already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm from a beach town. I'm from Panama City, Florida. And for a long time, I thought that Japan had a lot of beach because it's an island. And so I came here and I asked a few university students, I was like, yeah, where's like a good beach around here? And they were like, what are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? There's no beach.
I mean, there's like small little beaches which are shared by a lot of people. Might not be the same as back home, but maybe you'll like it.
Right, yeah, I'll have to check it out. I would love to come back for another trip and explore the Kyushu region. Maybe the style? I love people wearing plateau shoes.
And all the umbrellas.
Yeah.
Both for the rain, but the sun too.
Yeah, the parasols. It's the season right now for that. Either umbrella or parasol. You never know.
No, exactly.
We were just in Don Quixote.
Oh my gosh.
That is not
the mega.
Yeah, that we don't have anything like that in the US.
What is a Don Quixote?
A multi-level overstimulating drugstore. It felt like almost like just very overstimulating. There's so many floors. Each floor had different things like kitchen goods or souvenirs or skincare. It was like a one-stop shop for everything.
It was like a mega CVS, but it was like cutesy little music, and we just kept grabbing stuff because we were like, I don't know what this is. It's very cheap, and we're just gonna put it in the cart. Skincare especially. We grabbed some stuff. I don't even know what it was. And we were realizing the adult toys section was right next to the children toys section.
Oh!
That would never happen ever in Denver.
Yeah.
That's just funny.
Was there even like a curtain or something in between?
There was a curtain, yeah.
There was a curtain.
Was it like an obvious curtain, or I accidentally walked through this curtain?
I said 18 or older, so I think it was pretty obvious, but there was like some sample toys on the aisle before you went into the curtain, so you kind of knew what you were expecting.
All right.
That's why we went in.
So when you went into that aisle, were there any surprises?
I think like how casual people were about it. Like it's very like hush hush in the US. Like you don't really want people knowing that like you're going into stores like that. And I think people were just so casually like browsing and like looking with their partners. So that was cool. I think it was like a little freeing, almost like you're not being ashamed.
All right, I actually have a reverse culture shock recently because a lot of the tourists that are currently coming, they're not really that used to Harajuku fashion, which means they actually can react very differently. Some of the tourists coming in are like, wow, I love the style, this is fantastic, very positive, and some are like especially the crowd that calls themselves cool are the ones who are very judgmental and have got like really different looks than I've never gotten before here in my 10 years in Japan. So it was a bit of like, we're not in whatever country you're from. We're in Japan. There's a lot of freedom of fashion here. Now, if you're curious about more things that foreigners have said, there is a video link right up here. Be sure to click on that one and find out more, maybe for your next trip to Japan. Thanks for watching us. This was Ask Japanese, and I'm Kathy Cat.